We Raw is an extraordinary project, the first creative exhibition ever to tour 9 prisons in England, and also went to a major art fair in America. How does it feel to see the artwork, be in the exhibition, have your family been able to see it?
So yeah, like when I do actually see it in like an establishment, it's nothing to do with me, but for other people to enjoy, I'm proud. It's good, yeah, it gives me self-esteem, like good confidence as well.
It's giving people that sense of pride in the work and kind of achieving something. So obviously this is a prestigious project. It's kind of multinational, and it's something that people can kind of take that pride in and feel that they've achieved.
40 participants in a number of different prisons in America and the UK were all sent the same starting point, and their artworks and poetry from that have all been brought together. So I collaborated with 2 key partners, Novus, education provider in the UK, and the Prison Creative Arts Project, which is part of Michigan University in the USA. We also held special events that were different in every site, and at HMP Dearbolt we also combined it with a family visit, so there were children of all ages inspired by the exhibition, so there was a really lovely connection across the generations there.
The learners that I've spoken to, they've said that they haven't really done much writing previously, they haven't done a lot of reading, and for me that was fantastic that they'd actually engaged with the project.
I've never wrote a poem, it's my first poem I've ever written, so.
That is amazing.
The kind of underpinning value is the softer skills it does develop in individuals, which in the rehabilitative culture, those are all skills that can be kind of tailored and can lead to other elements. It provides a space for change.
So I wasn't really doing anything, I was going to this, basically just stuck on the wing, and you feel like you're kind of rotting away, like what's life come to? I started doing this poem in English, obviously you learn more in it, and it gives you something like inspiration in it, and like gives you something to work towards, and you're learning new things and sharing how you feel and working with other people, and then by the end of it, I feel like you've done something productive and that you can be proud of.
I do, yeah, I believe in myself, of course I do, yeah. I didn't believe I could be a man for her and him.
Yeah.
It might sound stupid, but art has made me feel like I can be.
Bringing that prison vibe in, do you think it's important people look at the work, they know where it was made?
Yeah, because it sends a message that although his bodies are imprisoned, we're still free to create with his minds and do good, do you know what I mean?
So we're hosting an event here at Askham Grange which is celebrating the work of not just our learners but learners from across the UK and the USA. We're celebrating their writing, their poetry, their paintings, their artwork. We've invited visitors and guests and the artists themselves to come and speak about their work. We're just celebrating that. Our artists have really done us proud with this.
This piece of art is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in 46 years of life. It depicts the human heart in all its form, its rawness of animalistics, the skeleton that we have, the blood of the bruised and battered heart that all of us suffer throughout time, and just that no matter what life throws at us, we are human and we're stronger than we think.
It's just been wonderful. The women thoroughly enjoyed putting the work together. This has gradually built up their confidence, and then to culminate in an event like this where they've had their family and friends along and they've been able to celebrate their achievement, and their families probably never knew that they were capable of this. One of the learners, when she was first here, she was very, very low in confidence, and the fact that she sees herself as having an ability now that she can share with other people that they may not have has given her this feeling of empowerment, which has been amazing.
I like to think I'm inspired. I have inspired a few people. The shadow is coming from the kitten rather than the lion to represent that that's the real us. Basically, we're not all scary animals, some of us are pussycats.
So we're just on our way out of HMP Humber, where we weren't allowed to film for security reasons. One of the artists that took part spoke so eloquently, like everyone, you could have heard a pin drop. It was really emotional. At times he'd been suicidal prior to the project and struggling to think about what his future might be, and he talks in a broader sense, not just about the project but about art in general and how it's shown him how to live. It's not just a little fluffy art project, it can be the reason somebody gets out of bed. It can be what turns the corner in depression. It can be what reconnects with family, and it can do so much for people. And to be back in that moment where someone who is feeling that and living that says thank you for it, and then inspires everyone around him as well. It was incredible, and I'm so proud of him. Yeah, it was great.
One of the guards was like, oh, what are you here for? And I was like, oh, I'm here for We Raw. And he was like, oh my gosh, I just helped Faye unload that from the van. It's amazing. You're going to love it. And it was so nice to have that interaction before I'd even got in.
Staff see what they're doing, like today. They've seen what prisoners have learned, what they've achieved, and they can see that actually it makes that bond and that working relationship better because they've come out of themselves and it's something they love, their mood's better, their mindset's better, and they're just buzzing from what they're doing.
I think what is important with this exhibition is that it reverse the gaze. So instead of have an outsider people that are seeing the exhibition, is creating the exhibition for the prisoners.
As they've created stuff and they've put things down on paper, or whether it be art as in drawing or poetry or anything like that, they're quite surprised at what they've achieved. They didn't think they could do it, they're quite proud of themselves, and then they want to continue because they've got something out of themselves that they didn't know they had. And then they want to follow that on. Helps with their mental health, their well-being.
People have lots of reasons for being involved. I've been in Humber, for example. The artist there was speaking really passionately about how this project was very much part of his plan for how he would move on beyond prison.
I think it's essential. Some people haven't had a childhood with any of this stuff. Some people have never had that encourager to come along and say, hey, I can make this even better, try this. Yeah, I believe it's powerful stuff.
That's why it's important to have creative programs such as this one, just to remind us all that we're multi-dimensional people. We've got loads of talents, got loads of skills, and we're not just prisoners. We are artists, we're musicians, we're dads, we're mums, we have family that we want to share these things with.
Today we're at the Ann Arbor Art Fair at this giant tent for the We Roar exhibition. So there's paintings, there's sculptures, there's poetry, and then each piece also has an artist statement.
I'm manning the activity over here. We're doing a little bit of a community mural.
PCAP normally just does stuff in Michigan, and we get to have this collaboration with artists who are also in the UK.
A lot of people curious about what the project's about. I've seen quite a lot of people exploring the statements written next to the art pieces, and generally a lot of praise for what's seen here in the space. Yeah, so this is a really exciting kind of development in response to the We Roar artwork that is around the space, and there is some prompt cards which people wider in the community who are coming in are invited to kind of have a look at and do their own responses. From this project, I think it's the exposure of the impact, whether it's people's first engagement with art or whether it kind of supports people to understand the value of how this supports a rehabilitative culture.
Trying to tell people all the time why these projects matter, that they do touch people. It can be the reason somebody gets out of bed. It can be what turns the corner in depression. What reconnects with family, and it can do so much for people. Just makes you believe in what you do even more.